All right. Welcome, welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT podcast. We got the big three in the building. How y'all fellas doing?
I'm good. I'm pretty good. Hot.
Blazing hot, bruh. Yo, so for this episode, for our viewers, our listeners, this is going to be top comedy movies of all time. We're going to do a draft. We're going to talk about some of our favorite comedian actors. If we have time, we're going to get to the black comedy movies specifically because we know we have a nice amount of black listeners and followers. And for those that love black culture, we'll let you know which movies that you should watch that's comedy related. Now, for those that's wondering, hey, Tone, why y'all talking about movies? The show is called Bench Mob Entertainment, ENT. We talk about everything, pop culture, sports. Just because we not in the game doesn't mean we don't know the game. Fellas, starting it off. Kwame had the first pick last episode for the movies. So we're going to go Miles, Kwame, and I'll go last. Number one overall pick, favorite comedy movie of all time. What you got, Miles?
Favorite? I'd have to say Friday, honestly, with Ice Cube, Chris Tucker. I mean, that's got to be it because
I knew it.
Chris Tucker, that was when he was in his prime. Like, nobody was topping him in these comedy genre right here, like black comedy movies, that is. Then you got Ice Cube doing his thing. You got Bernie Mac making an appearance, you know. Miss Parker, that scene always cracks me up. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Friday.
Kwame.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go to a classic myself. This is whenever I think of comedy movies, this is definitely one. I always get the name wrong, so give me a second right here. Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Hilarious movie, bro. Whenever I think about that movie, I am cracking up, bro. The Wayans brothers are amazing in that movie, bro. From you got Sean, whose dad somehow is younger than him. I'm like, wait, what? You got Marlon acting a straight fool. I'm like, bro, does he have it took me a while to figure it out, but I'm like, is that weave hanging from his hair? Bro, wait, what? You got the great cast. You got the grandma, I forgot her name. The grandma, I'm like, did he just punch his own grandma in the face? What is happening in this movie? Bro, amazing movie. You got Keenan Ivory Wayans is an amazing director. I know a couple of times he threw a little bit of realness in there. He'll be like, message. I still use that gif today at work. These days at work, I'm like, oh, somebody said something, and I'll send the meme over real quick. But I'm like, yeah, that movie is hilarious. I think honestly, my favorite scene from that movie was when they pulled up on Ashtray, Sean's character in the movie, right? So they pull up in the car, and lowrider or whatever. They whip out the guns. Marlon comes over, he whips out his guns. They whip out even more guns. Eventually, they whip out a bazooka, and then Marlon whips out a nuclear bomb. I'm like, yo, what? What's happening? Hilarious movie. Hilarious. I know it didn't get like crazy great ratings from critics or whatever, but to black people and to me, hilarious movie. I think definitely my number one pick got to be that movie.
Yeah, that movie, the first two really was made for us, honestly. But Friday definitely gets more love globally than Don't Be a Menace easily. Mine, and I guess we're going to just start off three straight black ones. Coming to America. Coming to America, hands down. And the first one, the second one, the first one, Coming to America, hands down. I would have picked Friday or Don't Be a Menace. This is literally on my list, but y'all took it. So next episode we do for movies, I'm gonna go first, so I don't keep getting the back end of these choices right here. Miles, you back up.
I know. I was about to say we might as well do the top 5 black movies now. I mean, shoot.
Whoa, we're on a roll right now. I don't know, Miles. my list is very my list don't got no color in it, man. That was the only bit of
Hey, I
color in
got
my
two lists. I got the black films and I just got movies. So for mine, I'm gonna go Anchorman. I think Will Ferrell as a comedic actor at that time was hilarious. You got like Old School, you got Elf, you got all these movies that he was doing where he's just genuinely like being himself and like goofy and silly and like Anchorman. He's like playing a very serious character, but he's very unserious at the same time. So I'm a rock out with Anchorman.
All right, okay. I think my next pick will probably be this is a classic from my childhood. I remember watching this movie a ton of times, tons of times actually, because we ain't had no cable. So on Saturdays, Channel 11, I'm gonna go with Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen, bruh. Leslie Nielsen overall hilarious, bruh, hilarious. I think in the movie he plays a special agent. Frank, I think Frank Durbin was his name in the movie. And brother, this man was an idiot. I'm like, bro, I don't know how this man over here solving these cases and winning because he's dumb, bro. I think that's actually the first time I've ever seen or ever found out who OJ was before I found out he played like football whatnot was because of Naked Gun actually. Yeah, I remember he played Naked Gun. I'm like, yo, who's that? Oh, that's OJ? Oh, he's a football player. He was in that funny movie though. Yeah, hilarious movie, bro. I think the one scene the one scene that comes to mind from Naked Gun actually was so well it's a little X-rated, but it's also a kind of movie, so it's like yeah. But I think the main character Leslie Nielsen and the female lead, they're like kissing, and she asks him, "Do you have protection?" He's like, "Yeah." And then in the next scene, you see them both covered in latex, and I was like, "Wait, what? Wait, what?"
Full body suit condoms.
Exactly. And like they had full body suits. So I'm like, yo, this movie's crazy, but bro. Another movie that puts a smile on my face when I think about it. I'm like, yo, that man was hilarious, bro. In all the movies I've seen him in, straight up hilarious.
I'm gonna go with a classic. Some might say it's a little early, but this is one of my favorite movies of all time. Period. Home Alone, the first one, absolutely hilarious. I still to this day, even though I know what's going to happen, I still laugh to this day. That's definitely one of the movies I can't wait to show both my sons, they children, and if for whatever reason God has me here to see great grandchildren, I'll show them too. But I wouldn't mind leaving before then. But that's on my list. Miles, you back up.
All right, so my next one I'm going to choose is The Other Guys with Marky Mark and Will Ferrell. I just think the way they started that movie off, and I'm like, you killed off the two biggest stars in the movie immediately, in The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. When they jumped, they're like, aim for the bushes. I was like, this is crazy, because halfway down, I'm like, okay, I don't see any bushes because it's in the city, but I'm rocking with it. Then they're dead. I'm just like, okay, this is hilarious. And then of course Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg take over, and that's a great movie to me.
Honestly, that was gonna be on my list. That was gonna be on my list. I'm like, bro, I remember that movie. That opening scene was hilarious. Definitely hilarious. So
It took me by a complete different turn. I'm like, oh, The Rock in this?
right?
Okay. Samuel Jackson? Okay. Wait, they not in this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's why it's the other guys, because those guys are dead. Yo, I'm gonna go with another classic real quick. I'm gonna go with Robin Hood Men in Tights. Robin Hood Men in Tights is like a satire on the whole Robin Hood thing. It had it had Isaac Hayes in it, and I think his name was a sneeze in that movie. I'm like, wait, a sneeze? What? And then Dave Chappelle played his son Achu. I remember when they first introduced Dave Chappelle. The main character, I forget his name. Give me a second, I'll look him up real quick. But the main character was actually looking for Dave Chappelle, and he finds him in the woods, getting beat up by like 5 guards or whatever. And then all of a sudden he says Achoo, and they all turn around. They all turn around and tell him bless you. I'm like, what? And then Dave Chappelle in the movie had on sneakers. I'm like, yo, what is this? And he had on the pump johns too. Mid fight, he stops. He's like, all right, guys, wait, I gotta pump. Then he pumps up his sneakers. I'm like, yo, what is this? Bruh, hilarious movie. Had a blind dude in there and on his team. I'm like, wait, what? And then at the end, I mean, granted, at the end of the movie, it's hilarious as well. Pause. Wait, are you supposed to be giving spoilers or not?
Hey,
Can we give spoilers?
they ain't see it. They ain't see it.
All right. At the end, also hilarious, bro. He gets the girl. They're on the. I'm sorry. The premise of the movie, they're on a quest for, to stop the bad guys or whatever. So he gets the girl. They're about to consummate their marriage, and she has on a chastity belt that he doesn't have the key for. But bruh, and now I think about it, I probably shouldn't have been watching that when I was younger, but it was still pretty funny.
For me, one of the funniest movies. Every time I turn it on, I can't stop laughing. I think it's safe to say this guy will probably end up in conversation of our favorite actors that do comedy movies. Step Brothers, another Will Ferrell movie. That, bruh, the boat, the fighting each other, one burying them in the ground. Absolutely hilarious from beginning to end, completely oblivious to what's going on in real life. It's the Catalina wine mixer. If you haven't seen it, go watch Step Brothers.
All right, so next for mine, let me see. I mean, growing up, I enjoyed the Dumb and Dumber movies just because, like, Jim Carrey. I always forget the other guy's name. He's a really good actor too. He can be serious, he can be funny, but like those Dumb and Dumber movies where literally everything they say is just like you're just like that's the dumbest. Can we curse? Can we curse? Because I'm like that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, and then they just keep topping it as they go on. And then the one that always sticks with me is when Jim Carrey's like going after the girl and he really wants her, and she's just letting him down easy, telling him like it's not gonna happen, or like for some reason she tells him there's some hope for him, so he's like, okay, so you're saying there's a chance. I always in my head, if I'm talking to a girl and there's like the slightest bit of a chance, that always runs through my head. I'm just like, okay, this is reminding me of that Dumb and Dumber scene where it's like, maybe I don't have a shot, but there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance.
All right, that was a good one. That was a good one. I'm gonna be a little trend here. I would say my next up probably would be Scary Movie, bruh. I remember when that first came out. Hilarious, bruh. Hilarious. Like, me personally, I love like spoofs and like comedies about other movies. Scary Movie was hilarious, hilarious, bruh. From uh from the Wayne's brothers themselves in the movie, hilarious, bro. From like I forget the kill's called Ghostface from the Ghostface in the Scary Movie. The ones when the kids always does like what's up when they were on the phone. So like
iconic.
facts, bro. I'm like, bro, that kind of not only is it hilarious, it takes you back to like the early 2000s or whatever when that was a thing. Because of the What's Up Guys, I'm like, bro, that movie was pretty funny, bro. The Wayne's brothers, for a good while, actually, I would say that they were pretty funny. Granted, though, the other scary movies, not so much. But that first one, bruh, that thing was funny. That thing was actually really funny, bro. And yeah, man, takes me way back.
Um, this is a older movie. Um, and Dumb and Dumber, I saw that like maybe 3 years ago. Hilarious. I was not allowed to watch that growing up, so I finally watched it myself. Dumb and Dumber, funny from beginning to end. But I'm gonna go with a classic. For those that end up seeing this, some of my old heads that be on here, the OGs. Another little bit kind of like a parody movie. I'm gonna get you, sucker. That movie, hilarious to me, and one of the most iconic scenes. That's where we was able to find out about Chris Rock, where he comes in and said, "How much for one rib? How much for one rib?" I'm gonna get you, sucker. Super classic. Another one that was on after church on Sundays on UPN 9. That was always, yeah. That's how I'm gonna get you, sucker. I always saw, I'm like, what is this? And one day I finally turned it on. Hilarious from beginning to end.
Okay. All right. I just looked it up. It wasn't on my list, but we got to talking about some stuff. Tropic Thunder with like Robert Downey Jr., Ben Stiller. That was hilarious. When I saw that when I was younger, um, that was just one of those movies where at first I was so confused because I was like, "There's like two black guys in this movie." Like I was, and then he finally called him out. He's like, "You're not black." He was like,
I remember that, bro.
and they're just spoofing off of all these like kind of like Vietnam movies and all that stuff. So like, yeah, that was. I'm sorry, that was a funny film from my childhood. But
Yeah, you back up for me.
All right. What we got here? What we got? All right. So this was, I mean, coming towards the end, I was like, bruh, these are really good ones. I don't know the ones that really made an impact. I'd probably would say the next one that I liked a lot was Shaun of the Dead because Simon Pegg. I forget the co-star in the movie, but Simon Pegg in that movie is hilarious, bro. Hilarious. It actually made me like a lot of his movies actually after I've seen Shaun of the Dead. This him like trying to survive through the zombie apocalypse with his friend.
I'm gonna
And
have to check it out. I have to check it
nah,
out.
it's pretty funny. It's a little gory too, and I was like, "Yo, okay, cool." But bruh, the movie is hilarious, bruh. And then the end, the end was dumb too. I'm like, "Yo, Simon Pegg is I'm not gonna lie, his movies are actually pretty funny. Not all of them. I would probably say it's Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, but I think Shaun of the Dead definitely comes out ahead, buddy, bro. Hilarious movie. You should definitely give it a watch, bro. If you're into like zombies and whatnot and the apocalypse and comedy.
I saw it on a bunch of the top lists, but I've never seen it, so that might be
Bruh, gotta, bro. You won't go wrong. I think if you watch it, you'll enjoy it. It's gonna be good.
I bet. My pick now, I'm going to go with The Hangover. Hangover, the first one. I mean, I think pretty much all of them was pretty solid, but the first one definitely the actors, the storyline, not knowing what's going on the next morning, all of that, absolutely hilarious. And I like that it ends up turning into a whole storyline with the other movies going after that. But comedy franchises, we'll be discussing that a little bit later. Next up is the last round of picks. Miles, you go.
I'm gonna go with Zoolander. That one, it's hilarious. You've got Owen Wilson, you've got Ben Stiller, Will Ferrell. He's always funny whenever he jumps in a movie. The one scene that always sticks with me is the gas station scene where they're like all out there dancing to whatever music, spraying gasoline on each other. I'm like, what the heck is going on? This is wild. And then the guy all of a sudden takes a cigarette out and lights it, and then they all just blow up. I'm like, what the heck? Who thought of this? For them to just be like playfully just spraying each other like it's a hot sunny day like today. Like here's some gasoline. They're filling up their car, just spraying it everywhere, and then boom, they go up in flames. But like Zoolander, Ben Stiller, early 2000s, he was hilarious.
Kwame, your last pick.
All right. You know, I got sprinkle something international in there somewhere. All right, my last movie is going to be an international movie from China. It's going to be Kung Fu Hustle. It's an action comedy, bro. From like I think also early 2000s, bro. So back in that time, I was, you know, I think that was a big kung fu craze. You know, you go to the mall, you see the stall, and there's like 100 kung fu movies at the stall at the mall or whatever. So you're always watching kung fu this, kung fu that. But bruh, let me tell you, bruh, hilarious movie. So you know, give you a quick rundown of the premise. You got this guy, you know, he's poor, and when he was growing up, he wanted to be like this great kung fu artist. I mean, well, kung fu artist, whatever. But he gets beat up. You know, when he's younger, and ever since then, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna be a villain. So throughout the entirety of the movie, he's trying to join this notorious gang in his neighborhood, but he sucks. Like he's not made for his life. It is not for him at all, bro. And honestly, it just kind of shows him and his friend trying to like, you know, trying to be part of this gang. The one scene, the one scene that stuck out to my mind when I thought about this movie was, so the gang members are like, all right, cool, you can join our gang, but you got to kill these people in his neighborhood that we want to take over. So him and his friend like, all right, cool. So him and his friend, they go over to the neighborhood, and they're trying to throw knives to assassinate one of the people in the neighborhood, but the knives keeps bouncing back and hitting the main character. But and eventually his friend tries, he throws a knife, and it bounces off the wall and hits the main character in the shoulder. And his friend's like looking around for the knife, and he takes the knife out of the main character's shoulder, looks at it, and it puts it back in. I was like, wait, what's happening? What? But bruh, not only that, but it has some great action scenes that are pretty dope too. But bruh, one of my favorite action comedy movies has to be Kung Fu Hustle. Actually, honestly, that was one of the movies I was hoping for a part two, but at this point, it's not gonna happen. But yeah, definitely Kung Fu Hustle.
Of course, for those that do not know, Kwame is always going to give us some international love. You can expect that every single time. My last pick. That is so many left on the board. So many good ones. I think I'm gonna have to go with. Dang, this is tough. I'm gonna have to go with Rush Hour. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Rush Hour, Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, one of the best duos for comedy, the chemistry, one of the best.
That was actually going to be on my list, to be honest with you, but I was like, I figured one you two would choose that movie because I'm like, bro, Rush Hour, one definitely, two kind of sort of, but bro, one I actually downloaded it at work one day because and I was gonna watch it, but you know, I was like, I probably shouldn't be watching this at work because I'm listening to some of the, you know, some of the lines. I'm like, oh, they can probably fire me if they hear some of this. But bro, hilarious movie, definitely deserves to be on the list.
Hey, just ring off real quick. What's your top 3 favorite black comedy movies? Kwame, you started off.
Black comedy movies. Pause. Wait, that haven't been said yet.
No, you could say them again. I mean, I'm
all right,
going
cool.
to.
So dope.
He said, I mean, I'm going to.
It's gonna have to be Don't Be a Menace, Rush Hour. I want to say Friday because you know it's Friday, and that's another movie from my childhood, bruh. On TV, it's going Friday's gonna be on TV. It's gonna be on TV during the weekend. But I'm leave Friday alone. I'm gonna have to go with another classic then. I'll probably go with I'll probably go with 48 Hours. Eddie Murphy classic. Yeah, 48 Hours. That's no movie
Okay.
that I used to watch a ton of, bro. Hilarious and it's action packed too. So I like that movie. Yeah.
Miles, your three.
I'm gonna go Friday, Coming to America, and Life probably. Um, I had White Chicks. I had White Chicks and Rush Hour on here, but um, Life was just it was a lot funnier than those two. And the cast that they had in that movie too was insane for comedy.
Legendary lineup they have for that movie. All right, so we pretty much have the same one. So I'm gonna give y'all three different ones. Now these aren't my top three, but I'm just give y'all three different ones. I'm going to go with Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. That was pretty solid. Mike Epps in that I think was hilarious, especially as a supporting role. Him starring, not so much. I have to go Blue Shriek, and I would probably go Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights. I'd have to throw that in there. And to Miles' point, that was another movie that they had everybody in there. Everybody was in Harlem Nights. If you haven't seen that, so many quotables, hilarious from beginning to end. The boxer who had the list, they couldn't understand what he was saying. One of my favorite movies of all time. We're going into this or that. So I'm gonna give y'all two movies. You tell me which one you prefer. Elf or Home Alone?
I,
You on mute. You on mute. You could
I
chime
would
in.
say I would say Elf to me. I do enjoy Home Alone, but um, Elf, knowing that like Will Ferrell improvised a decent amount of that role and kind of just put his own spiel on it, I I'll have to go with that one. I just enjoyed that one way more, and I mean that's a classic. They're both classic Christmas movies, but like I could watch Elf now, October, January
Yeah.
1st. Like
I think of the scene when he was in that Joker went down to the mailroom and they end up dancing on the on the table. No cap, we watched that because that's my wife. That's Nikki's favorite. Like that's on her top list of favorite movies. We watch it at least once a month, every month, bro. Like you said, it doesn't matter if it's Christmas time. Elf, absolutely hilarious. Tropic Thunder or Talladega Nights.
I'll go Talladega Nights.
Rick and Bobby.
Yeah. I still say if you're not first, you're last. Like that's one of those things. And then the scene where he thinks he can't walk, and they're telling him like it's all in your head. Like no, it's not. It's like all right, take this fork, boom, and then all of a sudden it takes him like 3 seconds to realize like oh shoot, I can feel everything. That is so funny.
Yo, what's the line that he was talking about? Jimmy's Gators. What was that line? That's from Talladega Nights, right? The talk about the Gators, the Gator shoe or something like that.
I'm not sure because I know he talks about something like Gators and the other guys too. When like they're at the house, Mark Wahlberg.
Nah, you're right. That's the other guys. That's the other guys. That's the other guys.
He's
That's
trying to keep going back into character. Like Gator don't like it. Like when he starts talking like that, I was like, oh shoot.
That's right. That's the other guys. It's still Will Ferrell, but that's the other guys where he back at home and he's still in character like he a pimp. And his wife's like, who are you talking to? He said, hey, Jimmy's Gators. Don't play that. Yeah. Other guys. Oh man, hilarious, yo. Oh my goodness. Hangover or Wedding Crashes?
Oh, probably Wedding Crashes.
Yeah, I'll go Wedding Crashers.
Yeah. I don't honestly speaking, I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't get into the Hangover like a lot of people did. So I was like, what? But Wedding Crashers, though, when I first saw, I'm like, yo, this thing is gonna be pretty good. Well, it's Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, right? Right.
Yeah. I wanted watching
Yeah,
that.
that's right. Oh, huh?
When I watched that, I wanted to try to do that. I just didn't have a wingman to go be bold enough to crash lands. I didn't have nobody.
They made it look cool though. They made it
cool.
cool.
You try that in real life, it's not going.
It's gonna be a different story, bro. Especially because you gonna have to go to a certain kind of wedding. Exactly. You can't show up to a different kind of wedding. And I'm like, yo, who do you know? Who are you?
Stick out like a sore thumb. Show up at a Irish wedding.
Exactly. And then in the hood weddings, you might I don't know, you might catch a beat down real quick.
everything don't pan out like Kendrick Lamar concerts, so it's not gonna be one West that night. They gonna figure out you showed up the wrong way and you got on red on. Kendrick ain't gonna be able to save you. Major Pain or Nutty Professor?
Oh, Major Pain.
Yeah, Major Pain.
Got it, Major Pain. I'm like, bro, the Wayans brothers, bro. Like I said, their earlier works don't miss, bro. Hilarious, bro. Major Pain, bro. What is it? Not Keaton Ivory. It's not Keaton Ivory in that one. What Wayans brother is that again? Someone help me.
The one from My Wife and Kids. I forget his name though.
Not sure.
That one was Damon.
Yeah, Damon.
There you go. I'm like, bruh, I should know this, but bruh, hilarious, bruh. Yo,
he had Damian in it too. Damian Wayans was in it too, and Orlando Brown. Not as how we know him now,
bruh.
This one might be easy. Napoleon Dynamite or Dumb and Dumber?
Oh, Dumb and Dumber. Hands down.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber.
Hitch or Think Like a Man?
Probably Think Like a Man. I don't know. A lot of people gave Hitch a lot of accolades, but I was like, to me, it wasn't hitting.
No, Hitch was. I could watch that like anytime. Like it's one of those where, like, sure, it's funny, but like it was a good movie. But like, Think Like a Man, like that was a crazy movie to come out when it did, and Steve Harvey writing that book, and then the cast that they had with like Kevin Hart and
Terrence Howard.
Yeah, I gotta go with that
one. Every time when I hear Think Like a Man, I just hear Miss Green.
Mm-hmm.
I just see Kevin Hart trying to mess with his moms. That's all I see. Ted or Borat?
I like Ted more. I mean,
yeah,
like Ted is
same thing.
Ted is dark. Like I even enjoyed the TV series they came out with recently, where like some of the jokes that they tell are just like, it's not like cringeworthy, but it's just like, damn, these are. I can't say these out loud, but that's Ted. Ted is a dark teddy bear.
Nah, I used to actually watch some of Sacha Baron Cohen and stuff. I think he had a show on HBO, and I'm like, bro, I don't think it's funny. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't think it's funny. But Ted, bro, Seth MacFarlane is hilarious. I'm like, bro, the same dude who did Family Guy is doing this movie. I know it's gonna be funny. He's gonna say some crazy stuff off the bat, and you know what's gonna happen. And he did. It's hilarious. Hilarious. It was actually one of my honorable mentions. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh nah, definitely one of the honorable mentions. Definitely something like you said. A lot of stuff can't be said out loud. A lot of stuff cannot be watched around certain people. Depending on family members and stuff like that. That's an acquired taste of comedy. It's like kind of like South Park. South Park has some of those jokes that's like, y'all shouldn't be saying this, but it's funny, but y'all shouldn't be saying this at all. Pick one. So we mentioned Ted. Ted had what, 2 movies? It was 2 of them, right?
Yeah, Ted won.
Okay. So we're going to do pick one, cut one. Now the movie franchise that you cut will never be able to be watched by anybody. So, for example, if we were talking about Power Rangers 1 and 2 against SpongeBob movies, if you cut SpongeBob movies never existed. You're okay with that, never seeing that ever again. Pick one, cut one. Starting off, it's funny Kwame mentioned this in his list. Naked Gun or Home Alone?
Ooh, Home Alone.
Naked Gun or Home Alone?
Yeah, I'm canon Home Alone. I mean, it's funny, but like Naked Gun.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the same thing. Naked Gun, like I said, Naked Gun's hilarious. Home Alone, I think for me is more like nostalgic than it is like funny. But Naked Gun though is like funny, like like you think of the scene just like but like I said, Home Alone, it's like, oh, that's cute. Okay, cool. Nah, hands down, Naked Gun. Gotta keep it.
Hangover or Scary Movie?
Yeah, Miles, which one? Yeah, I don't. Hangover or Scary Movie. So I'm gonna have to go with we gonna have to cut the Hangover. Actually, I take that back because I feel as though Scary Movies, like the first two were okay, and then everything else after that was like kind of trash. But I feel as though although I didn't see all of Hangover movies, they were pretty consistent going like across the board. So I'm gonna say cut Scary Movie.
Yeah, I was gonna go. I was gonna go with the Hangover too, just because like when I saw that the first time and like the crazy scenario of like losing the groom right before his wedding, and like you have to find him. You've got Mike Tyson with a tiger and all this stuff happening. Like it was just so many crazy scenarios that were just going on in that movie, and you're trying to like backtrack. Where's our friend? How do we get this guy down the aisle without finding out that he's dead somewhere? So yeah, I think if anyone's watching that for the first time, it definitely has like really good shock value on scaring you into just having a simple bachelor party. So
Anchorman or Horrible Bosses?
oh, I'd probably I'd cut Horrible Bosses.
All right, I'm about to say something that a lot of people will probably hate me for, but I don't really think Will Ferrell is funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I seen Anchorman, I seen a bunch of his work. I'm like, it just don't do it for me. Like I don't think he's funny. I ain't gonna lie. Now like I said, a lot of people be like, Kwame, just go, just get out. But I just can't. I gotta be honest with you. But Horror Bosses, that was also gonna be one of my mentions. Like I don't really mention that movie, but Anchorman, I couldn't get with it. I just couldn't. Like no.
That part, specifically Anchorman, I will agree with you with. I'd like some of his other comedies more than Anchorman, but I don't know if I could say that Will Ferrell isn't funny at all.
I mean, pause. I'm not saying he's not funny. He ain't funny to me. I just like I tried, like I really did, but I was like, bro, this ain't hitting. And maybe I gotta watch it when I'm older, because when I watched a lot of stuff when I was younger, and I was just like, no. I'm gonna give it another shot. Maybe I'll watch Talladega Nights maybe over the weekend, and I'm gonna see if my opinion changes.
Oh man, this is not on the list, but I don't know if they make your list or whatnot. But your honorable mentions, what would be on your honorable mentions of like funniest movies of all times that you did not pick on your list?
Mrs. Doubtfire was pretty funny growing up. Seeing Robin Williams. I mean, Robin Williams is one of the better like comedic actors that ever lived. I mean, because he was so genuine. He could honestly, you don't even need to give him a script. You just need to give him an idea of what you want him to do, and he'll just figure it out on the fly. So like, I feel like most of his stuff is kind of like improvised in a way. And seeing him in Mrs. Doubtfire, where you have to go from playing a dude to playing an older woman, go back and forth between two characters, that was just so funny to me. And then the scene at the restaurant where he's trying to balance going back and forth, and then he messes up, and it's like, what is that on your face? It's so funny. But maybe I'd put that, and then I had like Ace Ventura, Pet Detective from way back when. Jim Carrey. I mean, growing up, I'm sure I wasn't supposed to be watching that in the 3rd grade or whatever. Like they would show that to us after school for whatever reason. But like just seeing how crazy he was as a character in the film, and he was good at his job, but he was a crazy detective. But I mean, Jim Carrey, that's kind of the role he plays in most of his films, like that, The Mask, stuff like that.
I'm gonna have to throw on a couple of my honorable mentions. Grown Ups. I like all the Grown Ups that came out. Adam Sandler. I like him, period, just because pretty much every movie he gonna have that same cast with him. He gonna make sure everybody eating, everybody in there. So it's him. Shaq was in a couple of them. You had Chris Rock. What was it? Kevin Spade? I think is his name.
David Spade, yeah.
David Spade, yeah. I have to put that on one of my honorable mentions. Game Night. Game Night was pretty funny to me. That's definitely on my list of honorable mentions. And I'll probably throw another one in there as an honorable mention. I think some may disagree, but I think to put on that list, we did not bring up, but I think should be on that list. Girls Trip. Girls Trip was pretty funny. I think that was the first iteration of seeing Tiffany Haddish. And that honestly has been the funniest I've ever seen her in my life. Outside of that, she has not really seemed funny at all to me. Yeah, Tiffany Haddish isn't funny to me, and neither is, against popular belief, it's on everybody's top list. I think Borat was not that funny either. But Kwame, you could go ahead.
All right. I'm surprised you put Girl Trip on that list, to be very honest with you. But I guess you know what? Maybe I gotta watch it with some new eyes, because the eyes I started with was not liking what they were seeing. I'm gonna try it again. All right, what I got here? I got a lot of classics. Like I said, I grew up watching a lot of basic television, so a lot of movies from the 80s. I got Spaceballs from Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks is hilarious. For a lot of people who don't know, Mel Brooks is like I think he did make some actual serious movies, but primarily all I know him is for like comedies like Spaceball. I think he did Airplane. I forget the exact name of the Dracula movie that he did with Leslie Nielsen in it, but Spaceballs definitely. if you love Star Wars and you like comedy, it is hilarious. Airplane, another satire movie that I thought was hilarious. It has a lot of scenes that even memes to this day, actually, now I think about it, are from Airplanes. I remember the one scene when the pilot's like trying to fly the plane and he's sweating bullets. That movie is hilarious. I got one more. Oh, I got a couple more actually. I got a bunch more. I was gonna put in there Superbad. Superbad, I think, introduced me to Michael Cera and Jonah Hill. I thought it was actually a pretty funny movie. That was during my my school phase, I guess you could say, because I used to watch a lot of movies that had school themes or whatever. And I thought that movie was actually pretty funny. I remember I don't think I was allowed to watch it for a while, and I watched it when I was like in my early 20s. And I was like, oh, I can watch Superbad now. That's crazy. But that was actually funny, a pretty funny movie. It actually made me like Michael Cera a lot more, because I thought he was. I mean, he still gets it to this day, but he gets like a lot of the nerdy, nerdy characters, and I'm like, I can mess with him. I like him. I like it. Okay, cool. But yeah, that's about it. That's it. I think that's
I'm gonna
that
take.
rounds off.
I'm gonna take girl trip off because I can't find my list. I'm gonna take girl trip off, and I'll add trading places and anger management. I think anger management.
That's a good one.
Jack Nicholson, bruh, the mind games he was playing with him, and then like for the end of the movie, for it to actually like end up helping him. Absolutely, I think one of the most underrated comedies. Anger management and trading places. Hilarious. End off the show. Give me your favorite comedic actors of all time. Maz. You can start it off if you got 3, 4, 5, whatever is on your list.
I'll go with Will Ferrell. I know he's not going to be on your list, Kwame, but it's all good, you know. Eddie Murphy, of course. I mean, legend in his own right. Jim Carrey, and then I'll finish off with Robin Williams.
I like that list. Kwame, who's on your list? I like that list.
I'm gonna go with Leslie Nielsen. I'm gonna go with Mel Brooks. Definitely, I'm gonna have to go with Leslie Nielsen, Mel Brooks. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Robin. Robin is actually pretty solid. Eddie Murphy, definitely, especially some of his older stuff. Definitely, Eddie Murphy was hilarious. Then I'll probably round it off with
You know you want to go with Will Ferrell. I know you're trying to fight it. You're trying to fight it.
I'm gonna say Will Ferrell's like, nah. I'm gonna probably go with dang, bro. I'm trying to really think, like, bro. Comedies though. I'm leaving it at that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
All right, so I'm gonna go Eddie Murphy. I'm gonna go Martin Lawrence. I'm gonna go Regina Hall. I'm going to add Jim Carrey to that mix. And I will probably round it out with Melissa McCarthy. I think the stuff that she's been in, absolutely. I mean, for me, Kwame might disagree. She might be on the same level with Will Ferrell in his eyes, but it ain't much that she's been in that's supposed to be funny that she misses on. I don't see many misses with Melissa McCarthy, Bridesmaids, The Heat, Spy. I don't see that many misses with her.
My fault. I made that face because you said Melissa McCarthy, and I thought about Amy Schumer, and I was like, wait, what? I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Melissa actually hits. Yeah, she actually funny. Amy Schumer, I'm like, bro. Sorry, I had a moment. I mixed up my names. I was like, wait, what? You want to put her on the list? You sure? Oh yeah.
Amy Schumer, nah, bro. That's one of. It's hard to watch anything that she's in, man. Dude, even Life of the Party, she was in. Melissa McCarthy was funny. Her role in Ghostbusters, a little scene she had in Central Intelligence. Yeah, she the boss. Melissa McCarthy definitely up there.
I would agree. I definitely would agree with that.
Before we end the show, I just gotta ask, like, do y'all not feel or view Kevin Hart any of his movies that's funny?
I mean, it always okay. I don't want to say it, and it comes off as hating. But sometimes it seems like he's trying too hard to be funny in some of these movies. Like it's like he's funny. Like I've enjoyed his comedy over the years, but like sometimes, like in the movies, it's just like we get it. You're a comedian, but like you don't have to like overwhelm us with so much. Like he's funny, but like his movies aren't like that great. I did enjoy him with what's his name from Breaking Bad, that movie where he had to be a little more serious. But and then the show that he did with Wesley Snipes that came out, what was that, last year? That was a good one too. So like when he switches it up, when you're not forcing him to be funny, you can be a pretty good actor. But like most of the time it's forced.
Kwame, I'll end you off with this question. Which franchise do you want to keep around? Two prominent actors that had to wear dresses. Big Mama's House franchise or the Tyler Perry Medea franchise?
Okay, so I'll probably have to go with. I mean, to me, I think I'm gonna go with big. I'm gonna go. With, we're gonna keep Medea and cut Big Mama's house. I'll keep Medea. Not to say like I'm a big Medea fan, but initially though, I would say that initially Medea was it was pretty good. Like the plays, like it has some good humor in it. Of course you're definitely gonna get something about God, and then you're gonna get some singing. You're gonna get a whole lot in the show. Now the movies, Medea movies, has the quality went down over the years? Definitely as well. But compared to like Big Mama's house, like I saw Big Mama's house, and I wasn't really like it was okay, but I feel like Medea has more of an impact to not outside just the movies, more impact to like the black community as far as like the plays and whatnot. And then I would definitely say like overall Tyler Perry. Um, I think despite he's made his name based off of like a character in a dress, but I would say that overall though I would say I also like the fact that he's been able to do all of this and create this whole like empire and not empire, but this whole world you say based off his one character, and there's branch offs and there's all this and there's all that, and there's like 7 movies now. But yeah, I definitely have to go with Medea stays in Big Mama's house. That go.
Well, there y'all have it. It's a wrap, as they say in the movie business. End of the movie right there. Y'all know the vibes. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get. Bench Mob, we out. Peace.